kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
All right, welcome in everybody to the Monsters of Speed Racing League. This is the Syndit Racing 200 from Atlanta. After the off week last week, we saw these guys on the track last at Vegas, where Mark Parkhurst led 70 laps, Dylan McDonald 25, and they basically battled it out up front most of the race. So after Vegas here, we have Dylan McDonald leading the points by 12 over Mark Parkhurst. Jonathan Cogswell is about 17 back. James Jones in there with 191 total. Wes Fuller rounds out the top 5 with 180. As we're just wrapping up practice here, I am pleased to be joined in the booth back again this week with Michael Self. How's it going, Michael?
Pretty good. I'm glad to be back with you after a couple weeks, or I wasn't able to join you, and yeah, this should be a fun track to watch these guys this week.
Yeah, just watching the last little bit of practice here. Mark Parkhurst and George Jewell both put down identical lap times, probably working together, as we are at that new Atlanta configuration. So it's kind of more of a shorter super speedway type track. So I imagine we're going to see a lot of drafting and who you can work with.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a bit to get used to the super speedway version of Atlanta compared to where handling was super important as opposed to drafting.
Yeah, the old Atlanta, you tore up your tires a little bit more than you do on this one. This one here, it's going to be more about fuel mileage and who's your partner. These guys did put on what they're calling the Spring Bash tournament. I'd bring it up on the screen, but it doesn't like it too much. So this week we have 8 matchups. We got Mark Parkhurst and Matt Medler, Wes Fuller and David Mayo, Marcus Chaffin and Greg Woods Sr., Bill Sleep and DJ Anderson, Cody Mitchell, Dylan McDonald, Zach Woods and Josh Billiter, Blake Henderson and Jonathan Cogswell, and then John McIntyre and Gary Donaldson will round out the field as we're looking at them wreck right now.
That's a really kind of cool, interesting thing for them to do. Just add a little bit of extra spice to the race all throughout, instead of just having the focus on one guy winning the race.
Yeah, they did this last season, where their season was relatively shorter. So this year, talking to them, sounds like they're going to do this spring one, which is going to be pretty cool because they started at Vegas, and then you do this Atlanta, and then the next 2 you have Suzuka International and Richmond. So those 2 are definitely some wild cards that'll throw out some of the drivers, but looks like they're just finishing up their practice session here. They should be getting all set to go for qualifying. We are in for 134 laps tonight. Stage breaks at 30 and 70. So let's see who gets out on track first here. Looks like Cody Mitchell is going to be the first one out. Cody Mitchell, Wes Fuller out on track, getting their warm-up laps in. Getting ready to start his first scoring lap here. Cody Mitchell runs pretty well, but has had a string of bad luck. Recently was running up towards the front and just gets caught up in a couple little accidents there. Like he's going to finish his first lap, probably the first one done with lap 1. See where he winds up on the board here. 32.06. Wes Fuller just completed his first lap of a 31.45. A new paint scheme for that 35 Ford. Josh Billiter, James Jones, both up there with 31.91 and 32.01. Bill Sleep, first lap was a 31.59. Go a little bit faster. Oh, Greg Wood Jr. lap 2 went at 31.36, and James Jones came back on his second lap with a 31.34. But right now, James Jones is sitting at the top of the pile.
And right now the top, what, 6, if I'm reading that right, are separated by about let's see, 600ths of a second.
Yeah,
And,
it's definitely getting tied up there. Got that right, Mike.
yeah, and then top 10 now are 12 hundredths of a second. Definitely looking about as tight as in Daytona and Talladega qualifying usually is.
Yeah, it definitely is. Try and get a picture here of David Mayo. His race team, it looks like, is the guys that sponsored this race. Team Syndit. As we were watching him, John McIntyre just went up and got a 31.36, 0.02 of a second off the top spot there. Matt Metler on his second lap went a 31.37. These guys are getting tighter and tighter. Mark Parkhurst finished his second lap with a 31.36.
I mean, how about just brought it up the iRacing scoring goes to the thousandths. John McIntyre's 31.356, Greg Wood in third 31.357, and then Parkhurst to 31.359. So couldn't get much closer if they tried.
No, definitely not. I mean, you look back through the field right now, Zach Woods just put down a 31.39, so there's 3 of them that are thousandths of a second apart there, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Dylan McDonald with a 31.45. Even Bryce and Angel down there with the 31.45, 31.46. So, I mean,
Yeah,
what, a tenth?
There's
a tenth between all of them?
Yeah, I mean, looking through, there's several guys that are like 1,000th off. Like second, third, and fourth right now are separated by 0.02 of a second, or 0.03 of a second. Then 17th, 18th, 19th are 0.03 of a second. 7th, 8th, 9th, 0.02 of a second.
George Jewell, only one on track right at the moment with the first lap, 31.57. See what he does on lap 2 here. Jumped up to 10th right now with the 31.39. See what he does on his final lap here. .41, so not quite faster. We got Kevin Gibney Jr. out making his first lap here.
And one thing I'm noticing, a lot of them are kind of taking a little bit of the apron on their qualifying laps. You got to be really careful to hit that just right, or it can slow you up a good bit.
Yeah, especially when you come on and off the track. The only thing that would help here is because it is, the new Atlanta. It's basically freshly paved, so you don't have those special little bumps that you do at some of these older tracks when you talk about going down to the apron and stuff.
Yeah, and it is just a little bit flatter right there than it is on like Las Vegas or Phoenix. Well,
where he goes now, 31.39. I think I've said that number several times tonight. Joseph McDonald checking in the YouTube chat. Cheering for Dylan, as always. Final lap, a little bit slower. So it looks like the second lap seems to be the money lap for all these guys. We got a couple that have not started a qualifying run yet, so I don't believe they're probably going to. Marcus Schaffin and Jason Eastep, along with Richard Gonzalez. That's going to do it for qualifying, so they should get set up here in a moment. We'll get you down to the grid. And I mean, as you were talking about kind of how flat the track is, the straightaways where they do get down on that apron and stuff, it's only 5 degrees. The turns are 28 degrees. So a little bit different, but with the new setup here, you're going to be seeing a lot more drafting happening here. So let's up here as in their cars. So we got James Jones on the pole. John McIntyre outside row 1. Row 2, Greg Wood Jr., Mark Parkhurst. Matt Metler and Blake Henderson make up row 3. Row 4 is Kevin Gibney Jr. with Joshua Billiter. Zach Woods and Rhett Balzer make up row number 5. And you got row 6, George Jewell and Cody Mitchell. Jonathan Cogswell and David Mayo in row 7. Row 8, James McCaney, Gregory Wood Sr. Row 9, Bill Sleep, Dave Mosespa, Wes Fuller, Dylan McDonald in row 10. Row 11 is Angel Santiago and Bryce Borer. It looks like Richard Gonzalez and Marcus Schaffin will bring up the tail end in row number 12. Looks like Jason Eastep is not starting yet. Off now. Like I said, this is Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is a 1.5 mile track. Track temperature is 88 degrees. Ambient air 66. So the air's a little chilly, and it's only going to probably get a little bit chillier as the night goes on here.
Yeah, but should mean a lot of grip on this racetrack.
Yeah, you should definitely get a lot of grip. I mean, fresh paved. Good, good 4 sets of tires to use here. 65% fuel, so everybody should be able to make it to the stage break, at least the first couple, without pitting. And then after that, it's going to be a matter of pit strategy as we make 134 laps here around Atlanta. Pace car is off. James Jones has the button. It's that Geico restart zone. And he is down and away. Greg Wood Jr. right on his back bumper, but that outside line is hooked up pretty good. 3 in a row. Looks like Zach Woods is jumping out of line back there towards the back. Qualified pretty decent, decided he wasn't going to race him up front. James Jones still the leader. Just on his outside is John McIntyre. McIntyre is pulling to the front, being pushed by Mark Parkhurst.
Parker's all over his back bumper, basically the whole way.
They got together. He gave McIntyre a heck of a push. As soon as they got clear of Jones, they went down to that inside line, and they're still hooked up. Left Blake Henderson up on that high line all by himself as James Jones jumps up. But we are under caution here, 3 laps in. Go back and see what happened here. All right, so like Dylan McDonald just drives right into the back of Greg Wood Sr., sends him down into Angel Santiago. And the 5 of Bryce Bower as he spins around up there.
Really unfortunate for the 90 and the 5 there. Just had absolutely nothing they could do.
No, went right off of Dylan McDonald's bumper and sent him right into Angel Santiago there.
And that just goes to show how easy it is if you don't hit the rear bumper square, how easy it is to just send somebody around.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't take much. You just touch them a little bit of the wrong way, and that's the end of that. We have Mama Fuller in the chat, as usual. Wishing the Title Towns and Rage guys good luck. That's also in the chat. Then our Facebook crew, which is basically the Cody Mitchell fan club here. If we can find Cody Mitchell for him. Looks like he is running currently 7th, up 5 positions from where he started.
And yeah, the name of the game with this one, as with all the super speedway racing, is just try and stay out of trouble as much as you can, and just be around at the end, and you got a chance.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do. I mean, you sit there and you just try and avoid the trouble, get around till you get 6-7 laps to go at the end, and then just look around and see who you can get some drafting help with.
And as always, you have some guys that want to be up front, think that's going to be the best way to stay out of trouble. Some guys are going to be trying to hang out at the back, and in all honesty, my experience doesn't really matter. Something happens somewhere, and it'll find you.
Yeah, I don't think it matters too much either, because I've seen these guys up front get thrown around, and then I've also seen, just like we just witnessed, the 3 cars in the back, and that's just what happens there.
I've been wrecked out of the lead at one of these tracks. I've been wrecked at the tail end, so, and in the middle.
Yep.
About the only safe place is when you're all by yourself, when it doesn't help you in your race.
Nope. When you're all by yourself, you usually wind up either overdriving the car or getting on the gas a little too soon or something.
Not to mention you're significantly off the pace of these guys that are drafting.
Yeah. We got McIntyre, Parkhurst up front. McIntyre has the button, getting to that restart zone. He is down and away, but that outside lane of Parkhurst and Greg Wood Jr. get a little bit together and then lose each other just enough for that inside line to come back through. McIntyre and Gibney Jr. are working together there a little bit. Parkhurst and Greg Wood Jr. Oh, Kevin Gibney Jr. gives a shot to McIntyre, sends him up into the leaders, and now we have just witnessed both places where you crash. All right, let's see here. We'll jump on board here of the 31 here and see him just barely catch him. And there he sent the 29 up into Parkhurst and Greg Wood Jr. That pretty much ended that day. Bill Sleep gets caught up in it.
Yeah, looks like 29 came up, and 32 or 31 went down, and just ended up in the same spot. Just caused the 29 to go straight into the wall there.
Yeah, just was barely able to hook him there and send him right into that, up into everybody in that outside lane. So that definitely shakes up the complexion of the race just a little bit. And everybody on Facebook's going to be a little happy to see Cody Mitchell up there in P2 right at the moment. Like Wood Senior's getting his lap back there as the lucky dog.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys looks like having to burn their fast repair really early on. Definitely not ideal.
No, not when you're in basically a super speedway. You never know when you're gonna get caught up in another one or the big one. Really haven't had the big one yet. Had people get wrecked up front. Took out 2 or 3 cars, it looked like. Maybe a couple more, but and we had people get wrecked in the back, took out 3 or 4 as well. So never know where you need to be to avoid the carnage.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before that, there's not really a safe spot, and that gives you a chance to be there at the end.
Well, it looks like, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like Greg Wood Jr. has elected not to use his fast repairs, just trying to get it repaired as quick as possible so he can get back out on track without wasting that fast repair.
Yeah, that can be a good strategy. Depending on how much damage there is. As long as you're not too much down on performance, that can work out pretty well for you.
It looks like we do have one retiree. Looks like Matt Metler called it a night early after the first caution there. Couple others, couple laps down. We got James Jones and Cody Mitchell on the front row. The pace car is going to dive off here momentarily, and we will get back to racing. Like James Jones is going to have the button there. The 07 of George Jewell second on the outside. Cogswell down on the inside. And here we go. Get into that restart zone. Looks like they stacked it up just a little bit. Did Balzer and like McDonald back there, a couple cars behind him, kind of stacked it up just a little bit. Cody Mitchell's hanging tough on that outside line, almost all by himself, as George Jewell is about 2.5, 3 cars back, so no real help for him at the moment. Like Wes Fuller jumped down to that inside, is going to try and hook up with Dylan McDonald if they can get something going here.
Yeah, every one of these restarts seems like bottom line been way more cohesive than up the top. Just they end up spread out and dropping back a fair amount.
Yeah, it seems like like you were saying, it seems like whoever has that control of the race there gets to work a little bit better together, because that high side just it's spread out too much.
And it does look like, after those 2 cautions there, they're trying to settle down a little bit and just ride mostly single file.
Yeah, for the most part, looks like they're kind of single file, kind of finding their way through the track here. Cody Mitchell faded back just a little ways, but just looks like he's just trying to stay clean there. I checked on the Facebook chat again, and it is literally the Cody Mitchell, what they call him? Militia. Mitchell Militia has arrived. There's like 6 people in there all cheering for Cody, so definitely the place to be if you're cheering for that 44 rig. Made it halfway through stage 1. Stage break is at lap 30. So James Jones, Jonathan Cogswell, Red Balls are all up front. Bryce Bower, first time in this league, I do believe, is running positive 18 positions, currently sitting inside the top 5. George Jewell in 5th. Cody Mitchell back to 6th. Like everybody's kind of settled down, like we were saying. They're only a couple wide back here after the top 3. Just trying to find a safe place to ride out the race a little bit. Will McDonald all over that back bumper of Cody Mitchell. Greg Wood Jr. is out on track right at the moment as McDonald and George Jewell pass Cody Mitchell there. It's Cody Mitchell back to 8th. You got 5 cars that are kind of hooked up here.
Yeah, Mitchell just kind of got shuffled out of line and lost momentum. Was able to just drop in behind some of the guys there, not lose too much there. Yeah.
And they're almost 3 wide behind, or in front of Cody Mitchell there. Bill McDonald down to the inside of John McIntyre. McIntyre's basically up on that high line by himself. George Jewell's about 2 car lengths back. And those are pretty much it in that high line. Everybody else is single filed out.
They are kind of hanging roughly in the same general spots though, so not losing too much time up there.
No, they're getting that side draft, it looks like, to work decently there to hang on and kind of pull them up through the straightaways. Bill McDonald's all over the back bumper of Bryce Borer there. It's a little bit out of touch. Does Balzer there? Looks like McIntyre, George Jewell, and now Mark Parkhurst have hooked up and are trying to make that outside line go more towards the front. We are down to about 5 laps to go before stage break here.
So we get to see here, which ones kind of are caring about getting their best position for the stage, or which ones may be just looking to hang on and stay out of trouble for the whole race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look back and everybody in front of Wes Fuller there will at least get 1 stage point as they get to the lap car of Greg Wood Jr. Greg Wood Jr. tries to stay high, stay kind of out of their way. They're 3 wide, and everybody looks like everybody's going to avoid him, even though they're still 3 wide. Looks like McIntyre's stuck in the middle there. Bryce Boyer's in the middle, bouncing around a little bit. But everybody stays clean, and we stay green. Balzer went off track there. Let's see what happened. Oh, Dylan McDonald just got a little bit of a run, a little bit. Like David Mayo got caught up in it. Go back. See about a inside look here. This is on board with Rhett Balzer. You can see him just all of a sudden start to spin. And here he goes, just around. Trying to keep it straight out of the way, off the throttle, and still just sliding up the track. Looks like everybody is hitting pit lane except for James Jones and Richard Gonzalez, it looks like. Like James. Have to wait for them to board, it looks like. But it looks like James Jones is going to win the stage. Pit lane. They're stacking them up now, it looks like. Oh, there he goes. So Greg Wood is now looks like about 3 laps down. Just got one back from the wave round. Richard Gonzalez is gonna have the button. Kevin Gibney Jr. just to his outside. Dylan McDonald, Jonathan Cogswell in row 2. Row 3 is Bryce Boher and Cody Mitchell and Angel Santiago just behind them. Here they go. Geico restart zone. Here we go. Kevin Gibney Jr. gets a good run, pulls down right in front of Richard Gonzalez there. Dylan McDonald's stuck on the outside. Cogswell in third. Dylan McDonald, Angel Santiago now are starting to hook up on that outside line. Everybody's all over the track right now. Kevin Gibney Jr. runs Cogswell almost into the wall. Dylan McDonald's going to try and take advantage and dive down to the inside, but Gibney Jr. blocks that as well. They're 3 wide behind Gibney Jr. Santiago stuck in the middle between Cogswell and Gonzalez. Dylan McDonald makes a pass on Gibney Jr. down on that low side. They're still 3 wide back behind him.
And looked like Angel was having some difficulties with getting it real loose there in turn 3 and 4, both the last couple of laps.
Yeah, it looked like there was just a lot of air coming off of those cars and just nowhere to go. Cody Mitchell now is leading that outside line just in front of Gibney Jr. and Angel Santiago. Jonathan Cogswell back there as well. Kevin Gibney Jr.'s looks like he's all over the track a little bit, like he got a little bit loose and slid up.
Yeah, I mean, basically look the same thing that happened to Angel Santiago the previous 2 laps there.
Yeah, you just can't do much about it. As we're watching these guys go through here, we'll take a second and thank our sponsors, Waldorf Toyota. They're the new and used car dealership located in Waldorf, Maryland, giving you the best deal on all new 2023 Toyotas and great prices on all used vehicles, providing you with our best Toyota care service needs and full maintenance requirements. So if you're out in the Waldorf, Maryland area, go ahead and hit them up. They will be glad to help you maintain your vehicles. Cody Mitchell now out front, leading the race, and everybody on Facebook is going nuts right now. But Kevin Gibney Jr. stacked up that outside line a little bit there after he got a little bit loose. And that happened in that outside line, like they can't quite keep it all the way open, but almost like a pinball effect. If you look at that outside line, they're moving in and out, and that's gonna be what causes the wrecks that we've seen. Is just that slight move just gets the car behind him. Whoa, the 5 car jumped up and almost hit Kevin Gibney right in that left rear quarter panel.
Yeah, it's like you said, though, them bouncing around on the top likely to cause some accidents, and also just killing any momentum they may be able to get.
Yeah, it's just like that right there. Santiago had a huge run and just had to pull out to the outside of Gibney Jr. to try and kind of slow himself down so he didn't run him over.
Yeah, it's all about throttle control as you're going through through the corners when you're pushing. Because bump drafting in the turns is a big no-no.
Yeah, that definitely is a big no-no as you're on board now with the current leader, Cody Mitchell, taking a ride around Atlanta Motor Speedway. He goes to the inside of like the 08 of David Mayo there. You can see just how much angle that track has on it in the corners. And as we were doing that, I was looking up here at our monitor, and it looks like Matt Metler, Zach Woods, Greg Wood Jr. have all called it quits after being multiple laps down there. So the next stage break is at lap 70. Then from there, we'll see what pit strategy we're going to see as the distance to the end. The last lap's 134, so we'll see how they play that pit strategy as it's going to be just fuel mileage here. Like we got everybody, a couple cars looks like they're headed down pit lane. Richard Gonzalez and Marcus Chaffin. Looks like McIntyre might have got bumped out of line there.
And once again, after several laps of fighting pretty hard, these guys settling back down, going single file for the most part. Just maybe popping out of line every now and then when they get a good run on somebody in front of them.
Yeah, that's definitely, you see them just kind of pass one car here and there and try and get right back into line. They don't want to lose that draft or get stuck somewhere they don't want to be.
Yeah, and right now it does definitely look like the low line is going to be the preferred line for most of the races anyway.
I think everybody thick down there a little bit. Our top three cars, Cody Mitchell's up 11 positions, Dylan McDonald is up 18, and Bryce Bohr is up 19 positions so far. So these guys have definitely, maybe didn't have the qualifying run they wanted, but definitely in race trim, they have the speed to be out here up front. Lap car stays high. Until McDonald is still all over that back bumper.
And looking at it, every one of the top five started out of the top 10. So, these guys just doing a decent job of staying out of trouble so far, and just picking their way through. They're, they did get the benefit of a few lead cars getting knocked back from those incidents, but still, you've got to make sure you don't get caught up in something.
Yeah, exactly. As we look at our pole setter back here, currently in 6th, James Jones. He's trying to find his way back up through the field after winning the stage. Like to stay out a little bit longer than he probably should have, or at the back after that stage, and he's now fighting his way back up through the field, currently inside the top 5. As these guys are starting to spread out a little bit, we're going to go ahead and take our first break here today. Won't miss anything, and we'll be right back with the monsters of Speed Racing League Send It Racing 200 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. All right, everybody, welcome back. And just as we come back, we are in the midst of a caution. See what happened here. Okay, so we've got like Gibney Jr., Mark Parkhurst just in front of him. Goes to the outside. It's the 33 wide, stuck in the middle, and just hooks him. Kevin Gibney Jr. Mark Parkhurst goes up into the 29. Angel gets collected as well. There's nowhere for Angel to go there.
That's second time he's been just at the wrong place.
Yeah, that is not somewhere you want to be. See if we back up here to our leaders. Cody Mitchell is still leading the race. Bill McDonald in second. Back up here shortly, and it'll be a short run to the stage break. Stage break is supposed to be lap 70, so if Cody Mitchell is going to be able to hang on for these final, I want to say probably 6 laps by the time we go green.
You can be 6 or 7, I'm thinking.
Yep. Stack back up here.
Yeah, so they'll go back green beginning of lap 64, so yeah, 7 laps, if my math is right.
That looks like John McIntyre retired there. Everybody else is still on track other than the 2 earlier retirees. Like right now we're down to 14 on the lead lap. Cody Mitchell on the inside, Dylan McDonald on that high line. We'll see if that high line is going to be able to get any better of a start here when we go back green. Pace car is in. Mitchell has the button. Makes his way to that Geico restart zone. And he is down and away. Looks like McDonald tried to anticipate that start. And now Wes Fuller goes down in front of the 5, gets checked up. The 5 gets right into the rear bumper of Wes Fuller. Lucky for Fuller, he didn't get spun around there.
Yeah, definitely a scary moment for everybody behind them there.
Yeah, Wes Fuller moved down in front of the 5. Checked up just so Dylan McDonald could get down in front of him. They are teammates there, so working together. See if Cody Mitchell is able to finish out these last few laps of this stage. The 5 is all over the back bumper of Wes Fuller after that checkup. Like he's trying to give him a little push to get him going as we're under caution again. Didn't catch that one. Go back and see. It looks like Angel Santiago might have been involved again. Oh. So back just a little bit here. You see Angel Santiago there. And that looks like that was just basically all net code. I don't know that he really touched him.
Yeah, I mean, he did go down, and the 27 came up just a little bit, but yeah, that.
Take another look here. Side by side.
Looked like there was a couple feet in between there, so.
Yeah. Well, Angel's been involved in a few that we've seen so far. Get these guys back on track and let's see if maybe get a hold of Cody Mitchell. Hey Cody, Mike and Michael up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, you were able to hang on there and win the stage. How's the car and track treating you out there today?
It's pretty good racing. It's kind of easy to win stages when you have good teammates pushing.
Yeah, definitely. I will let you go ahead and get back to racing here, but congrats on winning that stage.
Thank you. First of many to come.
You're in Titletown, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that was Cody Mitchell there.
I like that confidence of that he's going to be winning a whole lot of stages. Guess that's kind of the mentality you need.
Yeah, you definitely want to be there. Cody Mitchell wins that stage, gets his pit stop, gets back up front. Just to his outside is going to be Bryce Barr. And looks like Wes Fuller's down on the inside. Go again. Guys all stacked up, ready to go. Not sure exactly. Looks like somebody's going to the back of the line there.
I mean, probably not what a lot of these guys wanted to see with these three Titletown guys all together on the bottom lane.
Yeah, you saw the way they worked to finish out that first stage or that second stage there. So we will be going back to green here on lap 70-ish. Cody Mitchell has the button, gets down and away. Like Wes Fuller spun the tires there, but that's not going to matter as nobody is with the 5 on that high line as George Joel backed up into Kevin Gibney Jr. to try and get a push.
That definitely shows the advantages of having a couple of guys behind you can work with and say exactly when you're going to go. Just the 5 not knowing
Yeah, you can't really anticipate it. You've seen these guys jump the start almost right as, or not jump the start, but jump to start right at the edge of that restart zone, and you've seen them wait clear to the end, so you never know exactly when they're going to go. So you kind of get left alone out there. And looks like the 07 of George Jules trying to make that outside line work. James McCaney down on the inside. It's pretty much back to single file racing here, as you can see from the camera.
And pretty sizable gap has now between the top 13 or so.
Yeah, you get like about a second gap between, between Wood Sr. there and that lead group. Wood Sr. goes to the high side, lets James Jones take over, running that bottom lane. We got Jones Billiter and Bill Sleep with Brett Balzer behind them there. Everybody trying to go around Greg Wood Jr. there, or Greg Wood Sr.
Yeah, and this is the part of the race where we're just going to see people, or see them try and ride it out. Probably save a little fuel if they can. Just set up their fuel strategy for that last run.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm almost positive we're gonna see him pit with only a 65% fuel load. I bet they get 35, 40, well, probably 40, depending on how it goes. But we got 60 left, so definitely have to pit at least one more time.
It'll be interesting to see, if you see these guys kind of shuffle around who's leading as well, just to save a little bit more fuel.
The gap was a second. Now it is non-existent, as James Jones just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 29:42, which is faster than any lap they even ran in practice.
This goes to show, once you start catching that draft, you get a massive run coming up. Back up to the cars, especially if you got a line of cars behind you.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as Jones caught that group, the group that he was running with kind of spread out, and they have lost time. Now they're down to almost a half a second back again.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they kind of had to check up just a little bit to make sure they didn't run straight into the back of that first group.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if they're able to hook back up again, because they were making quite a bit of ground. Like I said, Jones ran the fastest lap of the race there. Now he's looking to the outside of Jewell, but he sees McCaney up there and elects to stay down low, as they're kind of bouncing around a little bit up in front of them. Gibney Jr., Mazeppa. Kevin Gibney Jr. currently in 5th. Been involved in a Couple incidents still running up here towards the front. Cody Mitchell still leading the thing.
And I know if it was me, I'd be content to just be sitting towards the back of this line for the next 20 or so laps, just saving fuel, trying to see what everybody else is going to do.
Yeah, that's exactly. You're gonna have to figure out what's best. What's the strategy. Fuller got a little loose there. Got that gap to Mitchell. Mitchell slowed down because he wasn't getting that push and kind of checked everybody up just a little bit again. Whoa. Oh, 31. Again. Like he gets a little bit of a run there. Goes down below that red line and just runs him right into that left rear quarter panel, spins him right around. And I do believe that is going to be the end of the race for Kevin Gibney Jr. So, we reset this race here. I guess we'll see what the pit strategy is going to be here shortly, because we'll be right in the neighborhood of 46, 47 laps. Greg Wood Sr. locked up the brakes there. Like Brett Balzer, Bryce Bower, and Greg Wood Sr. all have elected to stay out. James Jones was in and out of his pits. Pit time was 7.15 seconds, so just took fuel, it looks like. See if that's going to be enough to make it to the end, or if they're thinking they're going to have to pit one more time anyway.
It looks like quite a few guys just took fuel or fuel and 2 tires there.
So definitely have a couple different guys on strategy call.
Yeah, I mean, we did allude to earlier that tire wear not going to be as much of an issue. You know, by this point, these guys kind of know what the tire wear is going to be like after 30, 40 laps. So if they're okay with the tires, then they'll just take fuel and try and hang on to the end.
Yeah, because we got these 3 guys up front here on older tires. Saying they last pitted on lap 67.
That would have been a stage break.
Yeah, so maybe they know something the rest of them don't, but we'll find out shortly. James Jones, our pole setter, is currently sitting in 4th to start in outside row number 2. Looks like we've got 14 on the lead lap. Pace car is in. That Geico restart zone. Down and away. Looks like the inside lane got checked up just a little bit, and so did the outside lane. Balzer got a huge break now. As everybody got checked up behind him there. Balzer leads them down. Boher goes right with him. James Jones looks to be sitting basically in the catbird seat just behind them. Got the freshest tires and probably the most fuel, but he was only in pit lane for 7 seconds, so see if that's going to be enough to make it to the end. Cody Mitchell in that high side, going to try and make it work, but just not enough. Dylan McDonald right into the back of George Jewell, trying to give him a little bump to get up there and get after these top 4. Dylan McDonald now jumps out in front of Mitchell, try and make that outside line work as well. Billiter almost into the wall. So these 2 out here leading are basically doing exactly what we figured would happen. Tires aren't really going to matter that much here. It's just mostly fuel mileage as that outside line finally starts to get some momentum. Dylan McDonald right to the outside of Balzer, and Cody Mitchell in that outside line as well. Greg Sr. has a huge run coming through that tri-oval there. Side draft and got checked up into that outside lane. Let's see if we can back here. Take a look and see what happened here. So there's Billiter, 3rd on that outside lane. Let's see. Looks like he just got... I almost want to say that's a little net code, just got sucked in there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks sort of like the 94 had to check up just a little bit. Maybe the 5 pushed him up into him there, and didn't have a whole lot of stuff he could do. Luckily for everybody else, you know, was able to keep it on the wall, and everybody else got by.
Yeah, rough, rough day for him there though. All he could do is get it down to pit lane, and hopefully he still has his fast repair to get it fixed and back out, because caution did not fly, as it was a single car incident there. Everybody was able to race through. So, Greg Wood Sr. almost gets shoved down into Cody Mitchell there, as he's trying to oval that corner just a little bit too much.
And the 48 is out of the pits now, so he is at least able to continue from that.
Well, Dylan McDonald leading the race. Bryce Brewer right behind him. Cody Mitchell and Rhett Balzer right behind them. I do got to say, I love the Friday night crowd that shows up in our YouTube and our Facebook chat. Have the Cody Mitchell fan club, and then you also have McDonald's checking in, and Mama Fuller, Costa as well.
I take that back regarding Joshua Pittler. He looks like he's called it tonight. It's really unfortunate for him there. Like he was having a pretty good run, just got caught up in that and ended the day.
Definitely did. As Greg Wood Sr. is having a heck of a run here, just being able to put that car wherever he wants it. He is leading that outside line. Just in front of that's the lap car of Richard Gonzalez. But he is definitely helping Greg Wood Sr. get that outside line moving up towards the front. All right, let's see if we're back here. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties here. All right, are you there, Michael?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
All right. All right, everything is back on. We are good to go. So that will reset us here with a little less than 20 laps to go, or a little over 20 laps to go. So it looks like Dylan McDonald is leading the race. James Jones just to his outside. Bryce Boher and Cody Mitchell. We'll round out that field there. That caution. It will basically reset everything because it looks like everybody came down.
Yeah, and at this point, then pretty much everybody should be good to go on fuel. So all that strategy they may have been setting up, throw all that out the window, and come up with a new plan.
Yeah, if you're Dylan McDonald, just gonna want to get that jump, get Cody Mitchell right on your back bumper, and drive away like you guys were doing earlier. This car is in. Dylan McDonald has the button. Makes his way to that Geico restart zone here. He gets just a little ways in and down and away he goes. James Jones spun his tires. Cody Mitchell gets a good run there. James Jones goes back to 6th almost instantly after that tire spin there. Oh, got loose and everybody gets wrecked there.
Yeah, I was just about to say the 5 was really lucky to not just run in the back of Mitchell there on that restart right as he got spun into the wild side wall.
Go up just a little ways here. So you got the 5 of Boher there, all over the back bumper of Mitchell. Checks up just a little bit. Bill Sleep pulls in behind him. Mitchell gets a bump, is able to correct it there, but Bill Sleep was trying to avoid it and just got to that outside of the 5 and spins him around. Then as that's going on, George Jewell checks up, gets around him. Henderson gets by. Haney spinning up front here. Able to save it, it looks like. So that will definitely reset the field once again.
Yeah, and 25 there barely got by that.
That's pretty lucky there. That's going to be restack him here. Everybody have absolutely no problem making it to the end. Pretty much no matter where they stop, because the earliest one, they should be good to go here. If you're Dylan McDonald, you want to see Cody Mitchell behind you, but I believe on this restart he's going to have to start to that outside lane. But maybe they can get it talked up where he knows that Dylan's going to go just a little before he does. That way Mitchell can duck in behind him here. Gets stacked up again. Let you go ahead and take this one for a moment.
And the pace car will drop down to pit road as Mitchell leads the field back to the green. In the restart zone gets a really good start there, and should allow the 44 to get right drop down, and they get hooked up once again.
Go battling out up front. Cody Mitchell, Dylan McDonald, Rhett Balzer. And that outside lane is another teammate, Wes Fuller, with Cogswell back behind him.
Yet again, something the rest of these guys didn't want to see with 20 to go is all these teammates getting hooked up and in line with each other to help each other at least until the last lap.
Yeah. Wes Fuller goes down to the inside, jumps in front of McDonald. McDonald, Mitchell, Fuller down on that inside lane. High line. It's Cogswell. Boher. And it looks like maybe even Parkhurst. Parkhurst battling back after an early incident. So these three were able to make that high line work and pulled a little bit of a gap on Fuller there, but Fuller's starting to suck in that draft. So the top six are going to maybe start to pull away unless this outside line can get going. Lap car of Gonzalez is leading that outside lane at the moment. Three wide, halfway back here with James Jones behind him. They're just bouncing all over the track back there. 16 laps to go. Jonathan Cogswell leading the race. If they're going to stay hooked up here, make that run. Battling back, caution comes out. Like Cogswell goes around. Now the 5 just hooks him, and around Cogswell goes. Like it's all by himself though, so that it would be a good thing there for everybody else.
Yeah, really lucky for everybody else with the way that car was spinning around to be able to make it through there.
So, I believe Boher's probably going to get EOL, maybe. That would turn the lead over to Parkhurst. So we will see how this shakes up here in a moment. Here we go again. On to basically a 10-lap shootout here. All right. Could be stacking them up this time by. Go green. 10 laps to go. See if see how this works out here. So Parkhurst and McDonald will start on the high line. Boher and Fuller down on the inside. Cody Mitchell inside in row 3, and Rhett Balzer outside row 3.
And at this point, it's find your drafting partner and stay with them, and just figure out when that the best time to make your move is.
Yeah, we've seen it pretty much all night that it's hard to run down the tandems when they get hooked up. But right now, doesn't look like anybody is nose to tail really as far as drafting partners, except for it looks like Wes Fuller and Cody Mitchell down on the inside lane. McDonald's up high, so we'll see how this translates into the drafting partners as Boher has the button and gets down and away. Gets a heck of a run. Allows Parkhurst to drop down to the inside. McDonald stays up high for that corner and drops down behind Fuller. Cody Mitchell gets shuffled back a little ways behind Balzer. And here we go. Parkhurst to the outside. McDonald all over his back bumper there. Bill Sleep making a heck of a run on that high line. Sitting just outside row 3 there. James Jones is shoving him towards the front. Ooh, looks like they checked up pretty good there as George Jewell gave Jones a little bump he didn't want. But up front is McDonald and Parkhurst nose to tail. Fuller trying to get around the 5 of Boher. Sends Boher up the track in front of Sleep. Everybody on that outside line checks up. It looks like somebody got shipped off there, but didn't catch who that was at the moment. But Parkhurst is leading. Dylan McDonald in second. Wes Fuller third. So here we go. Trying to finish this off. Bill McDonald, Wes Fuller are hooked up, sitting right behind Parkhurst. So Parkhurst knows they're going to be trying to make a move probably with 2 laps to go. Maybe even wait till the last lap, but you're going to know when they start to come after you. Cody Mitchell currently sitting back in 5th. Five laps to go.
Yeah, that's one of those nerve-wracking times where you're out in front. There's nothing you can really do once they make that move. You've got to anticipate it, but you don't really know when it's going to come. And if they time it right, they'll just probably blow by you. And
Yeah, there's really nothing you can do. You can try and block it, but if you move, you know, half a second too late, you're going into the inside or outside wall, depending on which way they move. But it looks like they've got a little bit of gap between each other, so they're going to want to stack that up just a little bit, especially between Fuller and McDonald. As McDonald goes down to the low side, Parkhurst blocks. Fuller goes to the high side to block Jones. And now they're 3 wide. Balzer and George Jewell get spun around there, and caution is out. Three wide, just bumping. The 94 just gets just on that apron and just can't hold it there. And just keeps bumping the 7. And the 7 winds up spinning around. So that is really not something you wanted to see if you were Mark Parkhurst. Because now it's 3 laps to go. And you're going to have Dylan McDonald and Wes Fuller in that outside lane working together. Actually, you're going to have Dylan McDonald, Wes Fuller, and Cody Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean the only real good thing with Parkhurst, he's going to control the field, so those guys on the outside aren't really going to know when he's going to go.
Yeah, that is going to be the good thing, that Parkhurst will control the race. So he's going to want to get a decent run, but he doesn't want to get too far in front. So here we go. They should get stacked up here shortly. So here we go. You get stacked up. Stacked up. Going down the backstretch now. Parkhurst McDonald up front. Got O'Hare and Fuller, Mitchell, and Modispa.
And Mitchell's probably going to be trying to get behind Motorspall there and get all 4 of those Titletown cars together.
Rolls the start, backs him down just a little bit, and gets a decent jump. Dylan McDonald stays right with him, just outside his right rear quarter. And side by side they go. McDonald jumps in behind him. Boher follows suit. Cody Mitchell jumps up high, gets in front of Fuller. Now it's going to be all a matter of time before Dylan McDonald, Cody Mitchell, and Fuller elect to go to the outside here. White flag in the air. Mark Parkhurst is leading the race. McDonald, Mitchell, and Fuller all hooked up. Bryce Boher down to the inside. Blake Henderson's showing up here late. Parkhurst is trying to block every which way. Pulls up in front of Mitchell. Mitchell gets a decent run there. Mark Parkhurst wins. Cody Mitchell second. Blake Henderson comes on for third. Wes Fuller fourth. Dylan McDonald is in fifth. Oh, heck of a run there.
Yeah, and that run just never materialized from those guys. And Parkhurst was able to stay out in front.
Yeah, they didn't get hooked up. All three of them didn't make the move at the same time. Cody Mitchell pulled to the outside with Fuller, but McDonald was stuck down on that low line. So Parkhurst pulled up in front of Mitchell to block and was able to do so. So that was the winning move of the race for Mark Parkhurst. Let's see if we can get Blake Henderson. Michael, I believe you have Blake Henderson with you.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, good race there. I mean, what were your thoughts going there in that last restart?
I don't know. I was like laps down the whole race because my power flickered on like lap 15, so I didn't get my laps back until like lap 120. And then the 27 car kind of screwed me on a restart because he had damage and I was behind him. So really that last restart was all about just going as hard as I can. I wasn't going to lift for anybody, and me and Bryce almost had it. Just had a little, got really close here at the end, but I wasn't going to lift no matter what.
I mean, you got third, so but, I mean, great recovery there for you to be able to get your laps back and get a decent finish out of it.
Yeah, doesn't really mean anything without a win, to be honest with you. But Deep Racing Forward had a lot speed in her, and wish I could win at my home track, but happens. But yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks. We can get second place finisher. Hey, Cody,
Hey.
Mike up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Heck of a run there. We're able to hang on to second place. You were leading for the last little bit there. What were your thoughts kind of coming into that final turn?
Honestly, I was kind of being a little selfish. I wanted to go with Dylan, but he's telling me over the team communications to just go for the win. And I mean, I thought I had a run, and 32 just blocked it perfectly. I mean, you can't ask for cleaner racing than that.
Definitely not. You were able to get some points, some stage points, and come home in P2. Anybody you want to thank for your run you had today?
Yeah, I want to thank Modern Structure, Tim Short Auto, KMR, all the sponsors that got me in this league, and I want to thank my teammates for allowing me to join in, not knowing if I could race or not. That really meant a lot that they seen something in me. There's a win coming. I've been contending every week. Just the luck's not there. And thanks to all the guys and girls that are watching right now on stream.
Awesome. Well, I will let you go celebrate your P2 finish, and maybe we'll talk to you later in the year.
Thanks, man.
Yep. Right. Hey, Mark, Mike, and Michael up in the booth. You got us?
I got you guys.
Hey, man. Heck of a run. When we were going green, white checker there, we kind of thought you were, I don't know, I want to say
Toast.
Yeah. We'll go with that, because that Titletown group was sitting there. How were you able to hold them off there?
Man, I don't know. I had them coming from all directions. I guess I just timed all the runs right there, did what I had to do, and picked up 2 in a row. Told you, once the first one drops, the rest of the domino is going to start falling.
Definitely.
2 in a row now.
So we leave the U.S. and head to Suzuka. How do you feel about that one?
I'm interested. I honestly have never been to that track, but I feel pretty confident in my road course abilities in the next gen. So I think top 10 next week will be a win. Road course racing isn't really my strong suit, but I mean, if we can make it 3 in a row, I'd be absolutely overjoyed. I've never won anything on a road course, but next week I'm just looking for a good solid top 10.
Awesome. Well, anybody you want to thank for your win tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank my teammates at HSR. Greg Wood Jr., Greg Wood Sr., George Jewell, Angel Santiago. Did a lot of drafting and practice to learn about timing runs. Even did some tandem drafting that were paid off pretty well a few times during the race. I got to thank my sponsor for tonight, Pro Cup Racing Experience, coming on board for about 5 or 6 races this season. So shout out to them. I got to thank my mom. She's always watching my races. And shout out to you guys for putting on a great broadcast.
Awesome, Mark. Well, maybe we'll talk to you, maybe not next week, but later in the season anyway.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Momentum's rolling right now. I know I'll talk to you guys again soon.
Awesome. All right. Well, that was the top 3 finishers. Let's go ahead and bring up final standings here. We got Mark Parkhurst winning the race, Cody Mitchell in second, Blake Henderson third, Wes Fuller, Dylan McDonald were able to hang on for the top 5, Dave Mosepaw in 6th, Bryce Boher in 7th, Bill Sleep, James Jones, and George Jewell wound up the top 10. Jonathan Cogswell, last car on the lead lap. Richard Gonzalez, David Mayo, Greg Wood Sr., Rhett Balzer, James McCaney, Joshua Billiter, Kevin Gibney Jr. will round out the top 18. Then we go to Marcus Chaffin, Angel Santiago, John J. McIntyre, Zach Woods, Greg Wood Jr., Matt Metler, and Jason Estep did not participate. So welcome back to the booth, Michael. How was the race from your point of view tonight?
I mean, really interesting. I mean, I got some ideas about what I can use for my next race here. But these guys put on a good show, and I'm looking forward to being able to get to watch something completely different next week at Suzuka.
Yeah, definitely. So as we look forward, we go to Suzuka, and then we will be back over here, but at road course racing next week. So from everybody at the Monsters of Speed Racing League and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, we will see you all next week from Suzuka. Good night.